just so we could get through this faster.
Oh, so this was it.
Probably.
Alright.
Okay, probably that was one of the technical issues that they faced earlier, so they did ban out the Kassadin. But that is a new pick coming out from them for the second round. It's
now
Shen.
it makes sense. So the issue that Fennel actually had is that they couldn't actually lock, possibly because of the tech problem, that kind of auto pick the Garen. Because the difference between Wild Rift and PC is that if you don't pick in PC, you get disconnected. You don't there's no auto pick. But on Wild Rift, you get auto pick on either the last champion you use or the most used champion. So that kind of got the Garen instead of the Shen, and then now, Zeri, just like how we discussed as well, will be picked up here for Fennel. A much better composition, I would say. And I am looking forward to this. Shen, Fiora, that's a common combination that we see even having massive impact on the games.
Yeah, Shen is definitely one of those champions that you would want to always keep track of. If you're the enemy team, you would want to know where he is, or if his ultimate is on cooldown or not, because it's a very good saving tool for anyone getting ganked. It's also a good way for Fennel to start off fights. If they do run in with either the Fiora or the Gragas, and the Gragas gets in too deep into these fights, Shen ultimate on top of him gives another layer of engage for their composition.
Let's see if this is gonna be enough to push us to game number 3, or will it be the same result by Cerberus Esports? We waited 40 minutes for this, and it has to be amazing for sure.
Yeah, still the Ornn and the Vi providing lots of CC, lots of engage for the side of Cerberus Esports. So this Zeri might have a problem positioning herself in some of these fights.
I'm sorry, I drank water. Because I read someone in the comments.
It's understandable. We've been here for a while.
Yeah, we've been here for like so long. And it's going to be interesting. Just to add on what you mentioned earlier on the draft, because there is 2 champions that we have seen being changed here. The Garen to the Shen, and then the Lux to the Zeri that was in the mid lane instead. So a bit of an APC back in Season 1 meta is the thing that we're going to be seeing here. Severe just offers so much as well on the wave clear. And this is actually a scary composition that Cerberus Esports has. I mean, there's no holding back. No one's going to be backing down on a fight later on.
Yeah, no one's going to be backing off, as well as the Sivir also helping that case, right, with her ultimate, just helping them along to reach targets faster. And it means that Fennel essentially can't have a good reliable way to disengage, because they don't have the only reliable disengage they have is the Gragas ultimate, which I feel like they might need to use as well as an engage tool in some of these cases, especially if you're trying to catch out the Sivir and the Jace in awkward positions. But an early rotation from the mid lane, from the supports into the mid lane as well, is not something we saw in the first game. But for here, it shows that both teams really want to prioritize early pushes and get a bit more control when the Scuttle Crab is taken by the junglers.
Great damage going towards Arisen, but it's still fine. Fennel just getting a little bit pressured here into the mid lane. Why starting the Scuttle Crab in the bot lane? And that's the benefit of picking up something like a fire, right? You would have better wave clear compared to the Shen, and now even impact the top side Scuttle Crab. Just reaching level 5, possibly even level 6 at this point as he goes towards top lane. He might be able to impact the fight here, because Chaz is still level 4. And Taco's baiting here.
Yeah, but he's been spotted, so Fennel knows full well that Vi is here. I don't think Taco knows that Chaz is there, so that is the slight information exchange that both of these teams have had. But because of the Vi going to the top side, Gwen now has a better recall timer. But Arisen, okay, I think he's fine here. But yeah, that Shen being level 4 is also a bit of a detriment right now. He just hit level 5, so it's something that they may be able to use to save anyone.
They charge the follow-up the season decision. That's gonna be first blood by Cerberus Esports, and that is why you have to respect this comp.
Yeah, I think it was also a misread right there from the side of Fennel. They didn't think that there were 3 members of Cerberus in the mid lane. They thought it was only both Akeno and BMM, but Y1 was already wrapping around as almost the same time as Shaz was. If Shaz was in a bit more distance here, he might have used his ultimate instead on the Gragas, but no, Arisen did fall down, giving the first blood towards Cerberus Esports.
That momentum already, 1,300 gold that Cerberus Esports has taken the first 3 minutes without even objectives spawning up just yet. And compared to game number 1, this is actually more dominating and more scary for Fennel right now.
Yeah, definitely. There is a lot of gonna be late game damage, especially this Gwen for the side of Cerberus, and we all know when a Jace gets going early on, he's gonna deal so much damage when he gets into his mid-game fights. He's gonna be able to delete squishy members from Fennel. And who are the big-ticket squishy members? It's gonna be the Zeri and the Ziggs, both key damage dealers for the side of Fennel. So this snowball that would come from the Jace could very well be something that Cerberus Esports builds on top of.
This is tough. I mean, you sense it from me as well, just from my side.
Yeah, that was a long
so
side.
tough. It was a long side. Not as long as possible.
We keep going back.
I'm sorry, but that is surely going to be a bit of a meme for us right now.
Yeah.
To think that we didn't even notice it that long. It seemed to be just 5 minutes, to be honest. And I just realized that it was long when I checked the clock. This this might just be longer this time around. Both teams actually have scaling on their side.
Yeah, definitely they have scaling on both sides. Zeri is gonna be the main later game scaling for the side of Fennel, while on the other hand it's gonna be the Gwen and the Sivir. She can deal a lot of these like crit hits later on, but she's a bit short range, so it's harder for her to be one of those more reliable late game carries. But the Herald being contested here by Cerberus.
Yeah, that's the luxury that they actually have right now. Call of the Forge God gonna be used here. Block! That's great coming in from Horizon, and also parry by Spells, trying to stay alive, flashing away. It's still gonna get chased down. It's still gonna get taken out. It's Cerberus Esports. They don't get the steal, but they do get the kills. And this time in the mid lane, Healer's gonna be in a lot of trouble. Still will be taken out. I thought he would be fine because of Chad Stand United, but still. Man, the swings, the blows are just much better for Cerberus Esports. Even top lane right now is being pushed. Even if they don't have the Herald, they might just get the first tower.
Yeah, and going to this replay right here, the luxury, as you mentioned, that Cerberus Esports had, because they had control of map, they were still able to challenge this Herald, and great secure for the side of Fennel, but there were 2 more kills given to the side of Cerberus Esports. So even though they might lose out a bit of gold with the turret about to fall down, it's going to be equalized by Fennel. But the thing is, they're still able to stabilize, they're still able to equalize the gold because of the kills that they've gotten on the map.
This time, McKenna is actually being able to tank in a lot. To think that this is just 6 minutes into the game, but we're seeing a big disparity already with the confidence, at least on both sides, is just massive. 2,000 going 3,000 off a gold lead by Cerberus Esports, especially with the consistent kills that they've taken. Plus the scaling on the Dragon stack is starting to be troublesome for Fennel. They need to set aside the differences for the meantime. Maybe work around towards top side. Maybe try to prevent the scaling of the Jace. Maybe shut him down. Try to pin down this Vi as well, because those are the only targets that they can actually commit to. The Severe is so difficult because of his spell shield and his ult.
Yeah. And that is something that Fennel will need to account for, right? It's going to be hard to take Genza away from this mid lane because of that spell shield. Not only that, even though this tower for the side of Cerberus is like 400 HP, it should be very close to falling. They can't do that because Sivir just has huge amounts of wave clear, and she can definitely push back the Ziggs as well. But top side, there could be a brewing tower dive here. Cerberus Esports already in the red side jungle of Fennel.
Is it a hot brew or a cold brew? Let's see! This time, the gas gonna be used by Horizon. Kenna still fighting back, gets a charge, gets a knock up. Breath and Brittle as well, but the season, this is onto the backline. Sanya is gonna be used to try and prevent the takedown. It's gonna work out this time around. Fennel still being pressured, but still holding their ground.
I told you, it's going to be a hot brew kind of thing in the top side. Cerberus Esports pulling the trigger when they saw members of Fennel just, roaming around top side. That ain't their territory anymore at this point in the game. Nah. Most of the momentum is on the side of Cerberus Esports. Fennel needs to dig deep. They need to look for a way to get this, to stabilize this game into their favor.
Cerberus Esports, again, you mentioned scaling. Cerberus Esports seems to be a team that keeps on scaling as well as a team. And it's just amazing to see the development of this team right now. Fennel's definitely struggling. Still has a chance to prove themselves. They just need to find the best possible moments and take that without hesitation.
Yeah, and it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for Fennel, definitely in the spot where they are in, because to remind everyone as well, their main engagement tool is gonna be coming from both the Gragas and the Shen. And so far, what has been happening to Fennel is they have not made a play yet wherein they're the ones starting it out. It's always has been Cerberus Esports answering, or Cerberus Esports initiating the plays, essentially just giving essentially with Fennel just answering back with these defensive plays. And that's not what you want to see early on from a Shen. You'd preferably see this Shen using his ultimate to be able to start off plays for the team, to give them a bit of that edge when they go for these tower dives. When Cerberus Esports is just pressuring them heavily, they can't even get too far away from the turrets without a huge risk for them.
This time, it's going to be a better risk here for Cerberus Esports. The knockback with CC Chain is going to be so good for Fennel right now. Akeno not going to be chased out, but Gen's actually doing a really good job just swaying them, poking him out, dealing damage onto the attacks of Fennel. It's not a 1-for-1 trade, but still, pressure is actually more on the side of Cerberus Esports this time around. They're the one applying pressure to Fennel, despite them getting taken down a while ago on one of their members. They have massive priority this time around for the Dragon. There's nothing that Fennel can do but watch.
Yeah, this is deja vu. This is same thing that happened in game 1 of this series. Cerberus Esports losing out on one fight, losing out a member, but in trade they were still able to get a Dragon because they were able to put down health bars from Fennel, still putting Fennel in the back foot as they keep on struggling into this first tier turret of Fennel. Yes, Fennel is able to successfully defend that, and actually the first tier turret of Cerberus has already fallen down, but so much pressure is still being exerted by Cerberus Esports on the map.
Man, if there's going to be a redemption story here on Fennel, it has to be this one. It's one of the most challenging games that they have against an APAC team right now, and they are investing so much here into the bottom lane. Taco might be in a lot of trouble this time around. The cast is going to be used. Begging for the bomb missing, but it's not going to matter. He still will take him down.
Yeah, but they needed to put 4 members there. There's a lot of members right now from CES going to the top side. They'd rather take the second tier turret in the top side. I think they just got the mid lane turret as well. So that's 2 turrets. For what? One guy and 1 turret? Actually 3 turrets right now in favor of Cerberus. Cerberus is running the map right now against Fennel.
Man, that's worth it. Surely for Cerberus Esports. Fennel though still gonna be charging onto them. That's going to be Zepton. Onto not really the best target, but the Grand Chat is gonna make it worth it. Also with the healing call of the Vortex gonna be standing United as well to try and protect spells, but it's not gonna matter anymore. The damage so pure coming from Gens and BMM as well, still going with a poke. Heals as well, running away, but why one? And the rest of Cerberus Esports know that he's there, gonna blast him up, and Cerberus Esports win the fight.
Yeah, Cerberus Esports just getting everything that they wanted so far in the map right now, getting 3 turrets and even engaging Fennel. Here, as you see here in the river, it's all started with Akeno and Shaz just seeing each other, but with the strength of the comp right now from CES, even though they only had 3 members, this Sivir was just running through the health bars of Fennel with her boomerangs, with her AoE damage, and it's just melting the health bars. Fennel can't really do anything at that point.
It's like bounce, bounce, bounce with a ricochet. Just hitting everyone. 2, almost 3 items already for Kenza. And man, oh man, I can't wait to try this out in rank. Of course. Yeah. Because looks like I'm gonna take a break from Senna for a while.
Sivir is one. If for all our viewers that are familiar with her in PC, she's really one of those like bread and butter, a marksman that you can play. She is not the strongest because she is not that long range. A lot more marksmen can outrange her, but in the game of Wild Rift, where there's a lot of melee fights,
she's all in one.
Fights. Yeah, she's gonna be really strong in these, and you can see it here.
Call of the Fortune as well, gonna be used, but gonna get denied a little bit later for the cannon, but it's not gonna matter that much because they're still gonna be committing on the chase down here. Helios still able to jump away. Still fine here for Fennel. They can answer back as well, unable to hit the laser there onto Akeno as well, but that's okay for Cerberus Esports. Because the main target is the Baron. They know that they can bait them still to commit, to walk towards them, to force a fight. And Fennel is feeling the pressure already. 2 members in the base still, they do have the time to actually go here. Never mind, Chance is gonna be late here onto this Baron, still gonna be taken here by Cerberus Esports. No steal at all. They're willing to trade Akeno for this. Flash unable to get inside the pit, but it doesn't matter. Cerberus Esports gets the Baron.
And again, Cerberus Esports trades the life of a member to secure an objective, but not only that, they set it up by trying to bait out the members of Fennel into their own jungle. When they were able to take down some of the health bars from Fennel, they knew that Fennel will try to go for a reset to try to get their health back, and that's when they pulled the trigger on the Baron. Great timing as well from Cerberus Esports. They were able to burn down the Baron before Chaz could get into the pit.
Man, micro, macro, everything is top notch on Cerberus Esports right now. What did they have for breakfast, man? I want it.
It's a very healthy breakfast, that's for sure.
Did they have like noodles?
I love noodles. I'm not sure if that's the healthiest breakfast right now at the moment.
I mean, there's a saying, right? It extends your life. That should be true.
That's true. That's true. Well,
don't take it from us. Don't take it seriously.
I hope later on the host asked that, the interviewer asked that. What did Cerberus Esports have for breakfast today? Because it's certainly showing up here. They did not lose any momentum, even though we did have a prolonged start before getting into game 2. Even secured Dragon Soul for themselves. Fennel is facing quite an adversity at this point. They need to figure out how to get out of this.
A big adversity indeed by Fennel. And this time around, even though it's not in their name anymore, it is being felt by this entire team. As the base is starting to crumble, Cerberus Esports getting an inhibitor tower into the mid lane and proceeding towards the bottom one. Still has massive pressure around, just getting everyone walking away. Call up the fourth guy, gonna call 2 men to be knocked off. Season this as well onto Arise and Mega Inferno Bomb, gonna clearing out the way, but it doesn't matter as well. Maybe it should, because Fennel clearing out the way, forcing Cerberus Esports to walk away as well. Will they chase them down? I don't think it's gonna be a good idea. They still were able to save the base.
Yeah, they were able to save the base, able to prolong themselves in this game. Fennel having a bit of breathing room right now, just trying to get out, trying to get as much territory as they can into their jungle. But when Cerberus Esports gets back into this map, they can just wrestle control again for this. They're so strong at this point. 5k gold lead is the lead for Cerberus, but Fennel might be trying to go for this kind of play where they're gonna go for a death brush. Let's see if they can catch anyone.
Y1 is gonna cut here and is layered so much, but does have the stasis and the GA, so it's actually not the best one to actually chase down this time around. The Ice is gonna get taken out. Stasis to buy some time. It's not gonna matter anymore. Still gonna get taken out here, and Y1 still it's alive. After all that effort, all they get is a drop of blood, and this time Y1 is the one to charge, and Cerberus Esports to follow up. The Shen as well will be running away. Spelt as well trying to get into the Baron pit, but is not going to be able to be there into the base. Actually will, but on the death timer. And Cerberus Esports still charging, will get their support taken out. Fennel answers back with a kill of their own. Cerberus Esports going to be just pushing topside now.
Now all that shenanigans from Fennel for a drop of blood from CES. Now it's gonna be the siege here, Giyang, from CES. They still have a lot of poke on their hands. They do have the Jace, they do have the boomerangs from the Sivir, but at this point in time, we've seen Cerberus Esports play a surgical game, so they'll be focusing themselves on the objective. Baron is up on the table for Cerberus.
Yeah, it's round number 2, everybody. And Fennel is not one who loves this. Round number 2, this time around, Chance is gonna be initiated, still able to dash away. And Cerberus Esports will be happy because it can just rinse and repeat. They would clear the mid lane first, maybe go back into the base, cash in for their items, for their power spikes as well. They can take their time. They have massive scaling as well. The scaling is actually much better on their side.
Yeah.
And it's Fennel that has to decide when to actually engage.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard as well when you get to this 18-minute mark. Elder Drake is also gonna be spawning on this map. Cerberus Esports knows this as well. That's why they're going to the side of the map. Scuttle Crab has already gone to the side of Fennel. Fennel wants to contest these objectives, but the thing is, with two big objectives on the map, usually the weaker team will have to decide on marking one more, trying to defend one more, while the stronger team can opt to pull them in. And that's, I think, what Cerberus will be trying to look for against Fennel here. They're gonna try to pull them in while they start up this Elder Drake.
And Elder Dragon is massive pressure here for Fennel. They have to contest, they have to commit because everything is on the line. This time around, Ryzen gonna be pinned down despite the 99 still gonna get taken down. Cerberus is gonna be turning right now when they go up to Forge God. Needles as well gonna be thrown out. Shock Blast to dissuade some of the members here of Fennel as they commit onto the big white gray dragon breathing fire with 20% HP threshold. No one wants to be on the receiving end here, especially for Fennel. Just coming sneaky, will catch the Jace, but actually gets caught instead. As Y1 is gonna be there to help him out. Is gonna be overextended a little bit. Has his static skill to actually have the shield. Fennel unable to contest. Danny spells getting blasted up, able to put out at least one, but has the hammer to pin him down. And Cerberus Esports will not care anymore with the objective. They will get the game instead.
Yeah, it's gonna be the victory here for Cerberus Esports. They take game 2 and they take the series against Fennel.
It's a one-sided beatdown. It took a while, and so many things were invested by Fennel to no avail. Just a drop of blood.